Me and my garden. I am going to run as fast as I can. These are my little flowers. I am going to water my flowers. I am going to grow another flower from my other flower so it can have a friend. I am taking a nap. Do not wake me up. This is my house. You can see my garden and everything else. So, my grandmother passed away around a few weeks ago from when I'm recording this. That was a old comic book I made for her back when I was a little tiny kid. And I thought it would be fun, or I don't know if fun's really the right word, but I wanted to redraw the old comic book I had made for her way back when. Now, technically what I made was actually a redraw of a redraw, because the images you're currently seeing on the screen are not from the original comic book, but from a different remake of the comic book I had made also a few years ago. The original version of the comic book that I made, probably before I was even 10, I have no idea where that is. It's probably long gone. Who knows what happened to it. I changed a handful of things about this version of the comic versus that version of the comic. Specifically, two things in specific. I made it more flowers as plural versus having it be one flower. This was because back in the day, I could not draw a flower to save my life. And while I still struggle to draw flowers, I can do it a little bit better now. So I thought it would be cool to try and push myself to draw more flowers versus just one single flower-shaped blob, to put it nicely. And I modeled the character to look more like my grandmother, while the original version, I think, was supposed to be modeled after my grandfather, but I'm not 100% certain on that. One final thing that I changed a lot of within this new version of the comic is the colors. I used a very different color palette this time around. I wanted to pick a bunch of colors that I felt like my grandmother would like. So that was also one final thing that changed. While I know she isn't here anymore, I hope and want to imagine that my grandmother would have really liked this comic that I had made. I know she really loved the original version, so this is something I made for her.